welcome to this coffee break where I want to actually talk about the subject of fasting. So if you're having a coffee with a bit of cake, eat it quickly. Recently, myself and the elders team here at Lowestoft Community Church, we've just started coming together on a Friday lunchtime, just an hour, 12 to 1, that sort of thing, or if we're not able to meet together, we still pray wherever we are. And whenever possible, we now using those Friday lunchtime fast as a fast. So very simple, very manageable, very accessible. Maybe have breakfast in the morning, don't have anything for lunch, eat in the evening. Some people may want to extend that and not have any breakfast or whatever, extend the fast. But just the idea is it's just a manageable, simple, regular, weekly thing that can be done most weeks. Although not as a religious thing if you can't sort of do it every week. But what I'm finding is that other churches are now joining in with that kind of thing, and I just wanted to put this out there a bit as a bit of an invitation for as many churches, individuals as want to get involved in this. You'll mostly all be familiar with our Enough large-scale corporate prayer, where we're seeing many hundreds, thousands even now gathering 3 times a year for a half night of prayer. I was sort of praying in my little January time, and also before that, the latter half of last year, about how to step up prayer in an even greater way. And I felt that fasting was something I had my attention drawn to. I've preached actually on fasting at Lowestoft Community Church in our Spiritual Rhythms series, so you can look that up on the lowestoftcommunitychurch.co.uk website, or the podcasts that are from Lowestoft Community Church. I think they're on iTunes, and I've preached on fasting, so I won't go into the whole background of fasting, but simply to say, I think Mike Breen says fasting from what you can fast for is more important than fasting from what you can't fast from. In other words, just to gain control of your appetites, to be able to do something that's manageable and sustainable and achievable. It's not about sort of putting yourself through agonies. It's about just taking charge of things in a good way. And the thing we must remember about fasting is it's not a work that gains us some sort of merit before God at all. If we never fasted, if we never read our Bibles, never prayed, never did anything for God, we would be loved by the Father as much as ever. We're not loved because of what we do. It's not a work. But fasting, I believe, is a weapon that gains ground. It's not a work to gain merit, it's a weapon to gain ground. And I believe that the church in the global south and the global east has learnt this secret of prayer with fasting much more than the church in the west. And there's many things I think that I'm learning from talking to leaders of churches in the south and the east of the globe, or leaders who are now in the west from that part of the world, and we need to learn from them. So just very quickly, why fasting? Well, I think fasting expresses that we will not be governed by appetites. It's about saying, I'm not going to be governed by another appetite other than my appetite for Christ. It's about saying that. Fasting expresses a longing for more of God, to be near to God. So, this kind of thing, my tears have been my food, as it were, a longing for closer, for more of God in our lives. It expresses that. It expresses devotion to Christ. It's like saying, I'm feeding on you, Lord. You're the bread of life. You're enough for me. I'm satisfied with you. I don't need other things to make me complete in life. I don't need other things to make me, happy. You are the one. I'm even willing to give up other things for you. It expresses longing for a move of God. It's saying, oh, Lord, long for you to move. So there's several, long-term and difficult sicknesses that we have around our church family at the moment, and I'm just kind of saying, oh God, move. And I'm aware of more illnesses and difficulties and difficult situations across all the family of churches in relational mission and wider in some of the other families of churches we know, and your heart sort of expresses, Lord, we long for a move of God, for salvation, for healing, for deliverance, for a powerful move of God in our days. Fasting is about saying, this matters to me so much, I'm willing to just forego something to express that. It expresses excitement. Fasting expresses excitement. It's like saying, it's a bit like you can get so excited about something you forget to eat. It's almost like fasting becomes almost like the byproduct of a preoccupation with something that you're really excited and focused upon. So it can be like that. And also, fasting expresses a humble dependency on God, a refusal to be ruled by appetites or to find satisfaction in other things, not to dance to the tune of something else. And it expresses a laying down of our personal agenda in order to pick up His agenda. Our agenda is body says to us, feed me, I need food. And we say, no, I'm not going to feed you for this season. And that almost translates into us expressing, not my will, but yours, Lord, that kind of beautiful submission that we see in Jesus, even in Gethsemane. So I want to invite you just to think about that. Friday lunchtimes, when you can, sometimes when we're travelling or in meetings or in situations where we have to eat, fine, it's not a week by week thing, but most weeks now, when I'm around and when I'm able to, I will fast in my lunchtimes. I will just not have any food that lunchtime, and I'll give that hour as much as I can to pray. If I'm not able to pray for that hour, I will just carry that spirit of prayer with me through the day, fasting as it were. Some of you might, as I say, want to extend that to a whole day or something, but I'm trying to, as with Enough, we're trying to create an environment where everybody can get involved in corporate prayer, everybody can get involved in fasting in manageable ways that are not like great big high jump bars for everyone to jump over, but everyone can say, I can do that, I can join in with that. So I wanted to do this at the beginning of 2017 and say, why don't we give this a go together? I already know that there's dozens of people already doing this, and that would be tremendous if we just built up momentum through the year. So feel free to share this with churches, with individuals. Let thousands upon thousands of people saying, I'm going to fast Friday lunchtime, I'm going to pray for a move of God. All these things that I've just outlined as what fasting expresses. It just adds yet even more power into what we've begun to discover in corporate prayer. So there we go. That's this coffee break. I hope you enjoyed your cake.